Final segment of ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. We want to thank you for rocking with us throughout the entire show. We hope you enjoyed the Aaron Freeman interview. If you missed it, go back and check that bad boy out wherever you download your podcast. And remember, wherever you download your podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. We appreciate you for coming to us first. Because you just got to hear what Jarvis and Tenitra are talking about. And guys, and Tenitra, this is the culture segment, and it's the intersection between sports, entertainment, and the culture, and sometimes whatever the heck we want to talk about, because that's just how we get down right here. Now, Nick Saban, T, he has just opened his mouth again. It seems like he's just becoming more and more of that old guy that's always complaining about stuff. Like when he opens his mouth, and it's kind of sad because I really like Nick Saban. I really like what he's done, just the dominance he's had as a head football coach. But it just makes me feel weird every time he opens his mouth because it seems like he's always complaining about something. Like, what do you have to complain about, dude? You got a million national titles, and
Right.
you have all the money you want. So it just seems like he just speaking too much. Like, I'm gonna read you a quote, and I want to get your thoughts. All right.
Okay.
This is Nick Saban speaking. We don't have any guardrails on what we're doing right now, Saban said. We don't have no restrictions on who can do what. Some people are going to be capable of doing certain things. Other people aren't going to be capable. But the bottom line is we'll lose competitive balance, which everything we've always done in college football is to maintain competitive balance. Same scholarship. Everyone had to play by the same rules, whether it was recruiting or whatever. Right now, that's not how it is. Does Nick Saban have a point, T, or is he just running off at the yard?
He has a point in the beginning of that quote, but everything else is a ruse. Everything else he said is ruse. Like I literally was like, maybe I should take notes. No, 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 and no. So yes, I agree with him on one thing and one thing only, and that is yes, there are no guardrails. He's absolutely right. There are no guardrails. Everyone is just kind of doing their own thing. But the other piece to that is this: do not, when you are closing in on double digit national titles, talk about competitive balance.
Right.
Man, please. Competitive balance?
Who
I
you
mean, what do you
speaking
mean?
for?
Right. Whether you're looking at Alabama individually or the SEC collectively. I mean, that really should make you laugh, Jarvis. Keep laughing because
The
that's
haves and the have-nots,
right.
essentially.
Like when you look up the definition of the haves and the have-nots, his picture and a crimson little elephant for crimson tide, it's all right there. So
Right.
that's the piece that really, really bothered me, probably the most because it just seems like you're kind of a rich who wants to get richer, and you're kind of standing behind something like this and complaining when in actuality there's nothing that's going on, whether it's a USC and a UCLA bolting from the Pac 12. There's nothing going on in college football that is going to hamper Alabama's ability to return to the college football playoff. The end.
Not at all.
I see nothing. So yeah, I really need him to miss me with every single comment. But the competitive balance is probably the one that has most of us up in arms.
No doubt. We'll talk about all of that movement. You mentioned USC and UCLA about the movement and mega conferences and whether or not they're going to be able to stick around. We'll talk about that. But T, tell the folks about Coffee AM. You see how amped up I am? I
Yeah.
got it in me today. I got it in me today. T, tell them about
Oh,
Coffee AM.
well, I'm hoping that I can get a little something when I go home because, when you wake up at 5 a.m. and you have to be on and you crack the mic at 6:20, you really have to have some energy. And so that's when something like a coffee AM or the teas that are with coffee AM, thank you guys for my tea. That's when
Yes.
that comes into play. So for me, I'm about to grab a cup, if you will, because I need to get some energy to take me through the rest of this day. And that's where we can support our small batch local coffee roaster, the best in the country. Now, it's the freshest coffee. We tell you guys over and over again. Why is that important? Because you want to know that if the coffee is shipped, that it's roasted that same day or not long after. Everybody wants a fresh product, and Coffee AM only roasts current crop specialty grade coffee. But the good thing about it is they still have a really big selection. They get coffee from all over the world, organic, fair trade, direct trade, you name it, they get it. And not just coffees, by the way, but gourmet teas like the ones that they sent me. I love green tea and more. And again, it's always a privilege and an honor. We all should feel like this to be able to support a locally owned business. So go to coffee.com/locked on today. Take a look at their full menu of coffees, teas, and even some gift sets. That's coffeeam.com/locked on. And you can use that coupon code locked on to get 15% off on your first order of coffees, teas, and gift sets. Again, it's Coffee AM. They are the best small roaster in the country, and it's coffeeam.com/locked on.
Go and check those people out. I don't have my coffee cup down here because I put it in the dishwasher. So yeah, I'm still drinking it, and we own it, and we hope you are check it out too because we 100% stand behind stuff we talk about right here on ATL Day Ones. Now, T, we talked about the USC and UCLA, but I think a lot of people, making that move to the Big Ten, but I think it was in response to what Oklahoma and Texas did. A
Sure.
lot of people were up in arms about them making the jump into the SEC. Now we have Nick Saban running off at his lumberyard, or his pencil sharpener for those who don't get the analogy. But I think that there's something to be said about where the college football landscape is and whether or not mega conferences are going to be the thing going forward. And I for one think they are. I don't think they're
Mm-hmm.
going anywhere
Yeah.
because I think at some point though they're going to have to, those mega conferences are going to become entities,
Yes.
separate entities,
Yes.
and that don't include the NCAA
Yes.
because I think that NCAA is a fossil of an organization and it is
Mm-hmm.
outdated and
Yeah.
they don't care to make any changes. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that if anyone needs to be scared, it is the NCAA,
Yeah.
not necessarily these big schools making the
No.
jump to different conferences.
Right. And I feel like maybe low key when Nick Saban was talking about the fact that, the that competitive nature, if you will, or the competition won't be there, or, the field won't be a level playing field anymore. I thought about this and I said, you know what? I feel like he's teeing this up for these mega conferences to then break away into their
Yeah,
own, you said it,
of
into their own
course.
entities and then put the regulations in place that they want to put in
Themselves,
place
yeah.
effectively. Yeah. And so I agree. Mega conferences, they're here to stay. Listen, Nick Saban, SEC, you guys and other conferences have been threatening all along. We're going to take our ball and run, Power Five. So it only makes sense that the mega conferences are kind of to me the next step or the next level from that conversation about the Power Five breaking away and doing their own thing. And then the next step from those mega conferences is to really, it's almost like what keeps coming to my mind is LLC, having their
Hmm.
own entity and being able to therefore govern accordingly. But I tell you what, we'll be watching this to see what Nick Saban's comments are next week. But it's going to be an interesting SEC Media Days for Nick Saban because
Yes,
I have
Lord.
a feeling he's going to be fielding questions about this commentary. I still think Jimbo Fisher and that situation is going to come back up. And I feel for him because he's going to have to answer to some people about those comments from Channing Crowder. I'm going to leave that right there. Tomorrow, we
Ooh.
hope to talk about the Braves getting their first win in the 4-game series versus the Nats ahead of the All-Star break. And Hawks get back to Summer League action, so hopefully they'll get another dub in Vegas. And hey, we're here to talk about any and all things sports in Atlanta. So after you check us out, don't forget to check out A to Z with Mark Zenos. Thanks again for stopping by, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Y'all come back now, you hear? We got a special treat for you on a Friday.